Testing. Hello, and good evening to everyone. I hope you're comfortable. If the aircon is too cold for you, raise up your hands. If it's too hot, raise up your hands too. We'll do. Wow, so many. Okay, you're either hot or cold. I'm not sure which, but then I'll try and get the tech guys to make you as comfortable as possible. If anything goes wrong, I'll give you my phone number at the end of the show. Okay. All right. Okay. Most important, please be comfortable and make yourself at home. I think first of all, a very warm welcome to all of you all and to Mr. C.T. Wong, Director of the Hong Kong Economic and Trade Office, and all our friends of the Hong Kong ETO and all our friends here. I believe you all know and are linked to one another, so just get to know to the guy next to you or the lady next to you. That's what events are for us to connect and to get to one to know another. That's why the title of the show tonight is called Convergence. And I must also not forget to say a very good evening to our friends online, because this is also streamed and our friends from Hong Kong are actually also watching this online. So for those of you who are online, welcome to Convergence, a dialogue in dance between Hong Kong and Singapore. My name is Ming Yen. I'm with Global Cultural Alliance, the producers for the show. And it gives me great honor and great pleasure to host all of you all on behalf of Hong Kong ETO, whom we've been working with very closely for many years. So I really wish to express a note of thanks to Hong Kong ETO to allow us to continue this entire dialogue and conversation between Singapore and Hong Kong. And I think without much further ado, to explain to you what we're going to see, we're going to watch a short film, we're going to have a dialogue with our friends in Hong Kong, and we're going to watch a short dance performance throughout the entire evening. It's a 1 hour evening. And to explain all that and how we come to be here today, it gives me great pleasure to introduce to you now Mr. C.T. Wong, Director of the Hong Kong Economic and Trade Office. Mr. Wong, please.
First, a big thank you to Ming Yen and the Global Culture Alliance. Without Ming Yen or the Global Culture Alliance, this event couldn't be happened, because they are a very important partner of us for quite some time. So distinguished guests, dear friends of Hong Kong, ladies and gentlemen, and very warm welcome again to this event we call Convergence, a dialogue in dance between Hong Kong and Singapore. And it features Hong Kong Dance Company, which obviously in Hong Kong, and Singapore's Maya Dance Theatre. 2022 marks a very important year as we celebrate the 25th anniversary of the establishment of the Hong Kong Special Administrative Region. Our office in Singapore will join the other 13 overseas Hong Kong economic and trade offices worldwide in presenting over 160 events, inviting the global community to celebrate these moments with us. The dance performance tonight, as mentioned by Ming Yan, is inspired by an online dance production by Hong Kong Dance Company, which was first performed in Hong Kong during the pandemic in 2020. It blends Chinese martial arts with Chinese dance after dancer learned 3 styles of Chinese martial arts, namely Hong Quan, Chai Lei Fat, and Bat Hok Kun, in a 3-year immersive studies. Inspired by the success of this dance production, Hong Kong Dance Company made a debut overseas to see what synergy would come in when a foreign dance group absorbed elements of these martial arts into its dance. To overcome the pandemic-related travel restrictions, Hong Kong Dance Company and Maya Dance Theatre embarked on a co-learning and co-creation journey. For 2 months, they have been converging online via the Zoom platform in a series of workshops, practices, and reflections. Tonight, we will see the fruits of this collaboration process in a hybrid combo, which comprises, as mentioned by Ming Yan again, a dance film, a virtual live dialogue session with Hong Kong artists in Hong Kong, as well as an in-person performance. Indeed, the name Convergence actually reflects the cultural identity of Hong Kong people, a spirit accommodating various cultures while constantly seeking to innovate and absorb new ideas. This echoes Hong Kong's roles under the National 14th Five-Year Plan, which marks Hong Kong as a East meets West Center for International Culture Exchange. Actually, we host a large number of arts festivals celebrating different cultures, ranging from French May Arts Festival, Japan Autumn Festival to New Vision Arts Festival. We also welcome artists worldwide to converge and meet their patrons in art fairs like Art Basel, Art Central, Affordable Art Fair, and Ink Asia. In the annual Business of Design Week and Knowledge of Design Week, global thought leaders and industry experts also share their insights on design thinking. To consolidate our role as an international arts and culture exchange, our government will allocate 42 million Hong Kong dollars, which is around 7.4 million Singapore dollars, for organizing the first Hong Kong performing arts market within 2 years. It will be an integrated platform showcasing the works of top-notch performing artists and art groups worldwide through exhibitions, forums, group discussions, performance and trading to facilitate exchanges with overseas performing groups. I have to mention that talent submission is always at our heart of our arts policy. Now we are having a new immigration facilitating measures. Foreign talents in the arts and culture sector, under the invitation of host organizations authorized by the relevant Hong Kong Bureau, can participate in and receive remuneration for designated short-term activities for up to 14 days upon each arrival in Hong Kong without the need to apply for employment visas. This can potentially benefit artists and technical crew working in performances and exhibitions, or performers and art critics speaking in seminars and workshops organized by authorized organizations. Regarding infrastructure, the East Kowloon Cultural Center will be developed in phase in 2023 into a main venue in collaboration on Arts Tech. Moreover, Arts Tech professionals with expertise in virtual persons, AI, holography, motion and animation, etc., and recognize as needed talents, and they are welcome to Hong Kong under the Quality Migrant Admission Scheme. So if there are any of you are expert in art tests, we will really welcome you to Hong Kong. We welcome all international dance company to stage also in the Lyric Theatre, which is expected to be completed in 2024 in our West Kowloon Cultural District. It will be a world-class facility of dance and theatre with a magnificent view of the Victoria Harbour, and it will have 1,450 seats. I trust that you are all excited to have the performance tonight. The convergence will add another dimension, which the boundaries between cultures and dance form will fuse together. So without further ado, thanks again for Meng Yan and the Global Culture Alliance, and I hope you to enjoy the show tonight. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Mr. Wong, and for the many words, and thank you for giving us, keeping us abreast of developments in Hong Kong. And as Mr. Wong has mentioned, we're very honored to have this event as being part of the 25th anniversary of the establishment of the Hong Kong SAR. As Mr. Wong has mentioned, we're going to go through tonight. Okay, the word go through, right? It's something quite it's an interesting journey, because as Mr. Wong has mentioned, owing to travel restrictions that are pandemic related, the actual production itself in Hong Kong, titled Convergence, has never been staged in Hong Kong. It was developed at the height of the pandemic in 2020, and it was seen online. So it's never been seen outside Hong Kong either. And the interesting challenge is, how do we bring something that's never been seen outside Hong Kong, let alone stage, and have a conversation and a dialogue with Singapore artists? And that's really bringing convergence to many levels, aside from just martial arts and Chinese dance, and also with any and other art forms. So we'll let the action or moving images speak for itself. And what you're going to watch is a short film that is that's what you call, it's literally converged between the original work itself, Convergence, and the training sessions, and also that grew out from the entire dialogue with Maya Dance Theatre from Singapore, which is led by the artistic writer Kavita Krishnan, who is with us here. So you watch the film first, and then we have a dialogue with our friends from Hong Kong. So please sit back and enjoy the short film.
同志，恭喜入伍，走！
Okay, so what? Okay, thank you. I will thank actually both the dancers from Hong Kong Dance Company, Maya Dance Theatre, and the director of the film, and I hope you enjoyed that. So basically, that's to give an idea of what's going to take place later on towards the end of this evening. And that resulted actually as a whole series of 4 training sessions, and we put it together trying to make a short dance film out of it. And I think to explain further on the concept of fusing martial arts together with Chinese dance, and later on how does it work with dance moves from other traditions from Southeast Asia and South Asia, we first, I think, welcome our friends from Hong Kong online, which is, okay, can we have them join us online first? Let me just introduce to you 2 persons we've been working very closely with online, and they're with us on Zoom. Can we have them? All right. I'm going to introduce to you first the head of our program and dance education, which is Candy Chung, and then I'll introduce to you Yang Lao Shi, the director. Are we ready for this? Okay, just give us a while. As with all things, some little technical Zoom, but they're on. So just bear with us for a short while we make the. Either that or I have to dance for you, which you don't want to. So I'm just praying that my tag team out there solves this situation. But I think to elaborate a bit further, maybe I just introduce, I'll invite the dancers from Singapore first. Kavita Krishnan, artistic director from Maya Dance Theatre. And the principal dancer from Maya Dance Theatre, Mr. Sebastian, to join us on stage. Okay. Okay. Actually, they're both online, but I guess it's got to do with their bit of the technical problem. So I think what we'll do is we'll jump ahead a bit first, and I think Kavita, I think would you like to share with us when I first brought you this first subject matter of this collaboration? Yeah, I wanted to work. Okay, getting closer. All right. I am so happy to see you, Candy. Okay, Candy is the lady on the right, my left-hand side, right, the one with the plates. And Yang Lao Shi is the gentleman on my right. Okay, and Yang Lao Shi is the man who conceptualized the entire production. Okay, can we hear you, Candy and Yang Lao Shi? 听到吗？看到啊？
听到。
Hello.
Okay.
Hello.
Right. Hello. 大家好啊，大家好啊。Okay. Sorry, switch channel. Okay, all right. Okay, back to English. All right. I think the first thing I wish to ask first, Yang Lao Shi and Candy, is this: the title of the show. It's Convergence in English, but the Chinese word "ning" or "ying" in Cantonese doesn't mean convergence entirely. It means something else about stillness. Would you like to explain the title of the show? Yeah, would you share with us the title?
是这个问题吗？其实这个是从我们学习武术之后得来的一个心得。其实武术大家表面上看好像身体都是动得很厉害，但实际上要讲究的是你内心你的里边要凝固，要凝成一股气之后，你动起来才会更有力量。所以我们整个的表演就觉得是想要表达一种我们怎么样聚精会神的一种状态。我觉得这一点是我们在做舞蹈表演的时候也非常需要的一种状态，所以我们就用了这个字“凝”这个字。
Okay, so the whole concept is actually from the training of the 3 years research, because we actually, when we practice martial arts, you can see it from the outside, the movement is actually very powerful. Sometimes it's like attacking people, but then in the meantime, your heart has to be very still. So you have to be like very convergence, very still and calm, so that you can see others' movement and also to see what you're going to move the next step. So it is actually echoes with all this dance movement. When we trying to dance, we also need to focus not only on the movement, but then focus at the moment, the kind of state, what is the muscle status, and also your mind status is actually echo to how we dance. So this is actually a reflection from the training and from the research, from the training of martial arts, and that is the connection back to dance.
Thank you, Yang Lao, and thank you, Candy. On that note, actually, on about training and stillness, you mentioned that you embarked on this whole project, this whole concept of the dance began as a research project for 3 years into both martial and Chinese dance. And just now earlier, Mr. Wong from the Hong Kong ETO, he has mentioned that you used 3 different martial art styles. I was wondering if you could elaborate what made Yang Lao Sir embark on this whole project to explore why martial arts movement and dance, and then also why the 3 styles he had chosen.
點樣開始同埋點解揀我分組？
其实我对武术的这个关注很久了，因为大家知道中国舞，和武术其实很早就都有联系的了。我们尤其是中国古典舞哈。然后为什么会选这3种？因为这3种正是香港最具代表性的，因为我们是香港的一个舞蹈团嘛。而且武术其实大家都知道是分南派北派的。那香港在中国是属于南方嘛，所以它从这种形式上还是有所不同的。南派的武术的动作幅度不是很大，它更讲究的是里边里边的一种气韵的一个东西的一个掌握。那这个也是真正我想和我们舞蹈比较有联系的地方，因为我现在看舞蹈也好，或者是看身体也好，我更看重的是里边，而不是外边的动作形态或是怎么样。我觉得更重要的是要我们了解我们的身体的里边，才能够更好的去支配我们的身体怎么跳舞。所以这个是刚好选择这3种作为我们训练的这个武术的门派。
So the embarkment of the whole research is actually come from a very long time of understanding how martial arts relate to Chinese dance. Because from the we have a tradition of the Chinese classical dance actually have a lot of movements from the martial art itself. But this project and research actually take us back to the very origin of this the linkage of the martial art and the Chinese dance. And the reason of choosing these 3 different style of martial arts, the Hong Quan and others, were actually because it is a very representational style from the southern part of the martial arts development. So from southern part of China, the movement of its martial art styles actually very precise. It's not like very long distance fight. It's very short distance, and it's also very have an origin inside your heart. So it is actually more precisely based on how you use qi as an origin to empower your movement. So that actually is what the focus of the research. We try to connect our heart and also to understand our body better with qi, so that we can dance better.
Thank you very much, Yang Lao, and thank you, Candy. I think on that note, on what you discussed and mentioned about qi, I think the best is for us to watch a bit of it. In this sense, Hong Kong Dance Company has over the last month sent out a series of 4 tutorial videos on the martial art style, which Yang Lao Sư just mentioned, which is a Hong Kun or Hong Quan. And for us, you can try at home. Actually, it's safe to practice at home. Okay, nothing will happen to you. I mean, only good things. All right. So I think Yang Lao Sư actually prepared this video for us to practice at home. So I think Candy, over to you to just show a short clip of how this video would look like. Okay, great. Over to you.
Basics of Hong Kun and how to train for it. Hong Kun is a southern Chinese martial art. It's tough and unyielding for arms and stance, powerful and vigorous. It features excellent palm techniques, a wide variety of boxing techniques. For lower body, the focus is on marble. We use 4 words to describe Hong Kun. Form, force, breath, intent,
Okay, thank you. So, ladies and gentlemen, actually, I think probably invite 10 of you. There are actually 4 links. So the 4 links actually show the movements in detail and further elaboration. And yes, you can try at home. Okay, all right. So something for you. That's why we fed you first before we began, right? So that you need the energy to try. Okay, and now what happens then when as dancers, you learn the martial arts, and then you convert to the choreography, and you teach dancers from a different tradition online, which is what happened here. So what Yang Lao Sư did was work with Kavita, Sebastian, and Maya Dance Theatre. And the reason why we thought it would be wonderful to pair them because Maya Dance Theatre encompasses a whole series. They take their movements and traditions coming around Kavita from Southeast Asia and South Asian, rooted in Indian classical dance, Bharatanatyam, and also Indonesian dance. And we thought, okay, what happens if you merge styles from North Asia, China, Hong Kong, and Southeast Asia and South Asia together? That's taking convergence to another level, and we do it online. So, Yang Lao Sư, would you like to share with us, how did it feel working with a different dance company online who doesn't have any background? How was it like working with a team here in Singapore?
跟他们的上课的那个情况。我觉得我们进行了大概是4次，我记得4次的这个网课，完全超乎我的这个预期了。因为他们首先第一，他们学得很快。我记得我们在跟师傅学的时候都没有那么快。那我想可能就是反映本身就是咱们这个新加坡的这个舞蹈团的这些演员非常专业了，他们对身体的这个掌握是已经达到一定的基础。二一个是看得出来他们真的是有非常极大的热情，这个是很重要的哈。光靠这个 online 的这个只有1个半小时到2个小时呢是远远不够的。好，我相信他们在下边一定是反复的练习了。所以这4堂课虽然很短了，其实我当时都觉得只能够提供一点皮毛的东西，但是后来见到他们又拍了一些自己练习的片段给我以后，我觉得我还是很满意的，我觉得很好。我觉得至少虽然大家都是舞者，但是呢，他们对武术的这个兴趣和热情如此的高我这一点是我最感到欣慰的。
So actually, we have very short time to have the online class with the Maya Dance company dancer, and the result is actually also extraordinary. We are very pleased with the result, and they actually learn faster than what we learned when we learned with the master. So it is it actually reflects that the Singapore dancers were very professional and also passionate to learn the new technique. So from this, all this 4 sessions of 2 hours, 1.5 to 2 hours training, it is actually just a little bit of the taste of this whole research project. we are sure that they actually spend a lot of time exercising and practicing the whole routine behind the scene. So we were very, we think that is very good and excellent, their performance and their passion, and that is actually very impactful for us to see them learning that technique and actually practicing it. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Yang Lao and Candy. Okay, so I think now we'll just watch a bit of what the Yang Lao mentioned, the training session itself. This is done entirely on Zoom, so let us watch. Okay, I think Candy on your side, you can watch it. Thank you.
Go. 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 Okay.
Thank you.
OK，好好多。
Much better.
Gigi 的
In
对了，
Bella's
这边的
swing.
女生的那个造型呢，不要太安全啊，那个力量
The
还是
energy
要，
is too safe.
还是这个力量还是
You
要
have
出
to
去，
attack.
对 attack 那个感觉，那个力量还是要大
Yeah,，you're attacking
对
someone.
噗，这个力量还是要加强一点
Don't be
点，
too quiet.
对对对对对对。
Thank you. So I think this went on for 4 sessions, and it was quite amazing dedication. And actually, that session was between Hong Kong, Singapore, and one of the dancers was actually in Indonesia. So that's what happens, with technology, and it's great. All right, I think on this note over, we shall shift over to Singapore with Kavita and Sebastian to show you. Kavita, would you like to share a bit about what your experience was like learning this, and then we can watch the next clip on how you've taken the interpretation. So Kavita.
Good evening, everyone. It was definitely very challenging because martial arts, it's not, it's just like dance. You start it from a very young age and you take a long time to actually embody it. So for us to understand what Mr. Young was teaching us, we had to keep our eyes and our ears very open. Zoom was not helping us because he was not able to physically come and correct us as well. So we very much depended a lot on him truly being able to correct every single move of what we were doing so that we can stay true to the form. But at the same time, I did tell Ming Yan and Mr. Young that, we may not be embodying the form as how he would want it to be, and whether he will be able to give us the permission to then extract it and move it into a space that we are very comfortable with. He was kind and generous to say yes. And I think what allowed me to enable the dancers to move to this space was the dance practice philosophy. It was very similar. The idea of being rooted, grounded, was the first thing that we had similarities in. And the second one was the use of the hands. Of course, they were using it in defense and attack. But Bharatanatyam, where I'm trained in, and that's what we bring into practice for within a contemporary dance design in Maya Dance Theatre, apart from also using the Indonesian dance forms such as the Javanese dance, the hands were very vital in making these connections. So the two elements gave me the permission, I should say, to then boldly agree to this exchange. The second thing is, we're always very thirsty to be learning something, and the learning of a new form such as like the martial arts was something that which we thought would give us a new edge. We can't be as good as them, but at least it gives us the ability to know another. So here dance then became a tool for us to connect with someone from a different culture, from a different country, and of course through Zoom, using technology to then also invite this friendship. So there were different layers to how we saw ourselves to be in this space. And it has been a very interesting space, but not without challenges. So I'm going to ask Sebastian, who was a dancer in space, how did he manage listening to Mr. Young? And then after that, listening to Kavi as we were trying to negotiate the space. So after he says, then you can see a clip of how Eva took the elements of what we had taken from their space and interpreted through using Bharatanatyam.
So for ourselves, right, because we rehearse through Zoom, as everyone has mentioned so far, it became a very visual type of learning. You know, we could only use our eyes and try our best to understand the forms that we were learning. So there was a lot of, I would say, extrapolation, you know, educated guesses on our end to figure out, okay, this movement, we ground our feet into the floor. What does that mean for our own kind of dance training that we do in Maya Dance Theatre, which could be from Bharatanatyam, which could be from traditional Indonesian. So that's when these conversations outside of just the trainings with Mr. Yang, we had conversations within ourselves as well with Kavi, and we took our time to understand, the 4 different parts of the form that was mentioned in the tutorial, right? The strength, the breath. Where does all this apply in our own dance practice? And after that, we took the liberty to also explore that in our own zones, you know. And I think this is what you'll see in the video that will be playing next, where Eva and Gigi and myself, the dancers, we actually incorporated our understanding of what we've absorbed from the Hong Kong team into our own dance practice that we do in the company as well.
Thanks, Kavita and Sebastian. So can we watch the third video clip now? Thank you.
Like this, yeah. Here you can see Eva starting with the form that we were introduced to by Mr. Young. But at the same time, you can see her taking her body through the different mandala positions, which is the leg positions that you see in Bharatanatyam. The way we place our start and our place is different. The use of the eyes in space as well. Of course, she's wearing the mask, but if you can follow through, you can see that her eyes guides her directions as well. And getting herself into a chauka, that's a chauka position, a wider baramandi. And from there, the feet that also rises, with the toes rising up, is a very specific movement of Bharatanatyam. So these were then understood by the dancers. So we had to first learn what was offered to us, and then the other rehearsals were then used very much to explore what was comfortable in their body. Because each dancer, I always believe that each dancer has a different DNA. And so to understand that was difficult, but we tried our best. And the arms that comes up, the way Eva is holding it, it's a dolak. So that too, it's like, where's the energy? You know, similar things that he's talking about, the energy, but where is the energy in this dolak? Is it here? Is it at the forearm? Is it at the wrist? Was all very much discussed together with the dancer. No one dancer does it a similar way. So when they do it later live, you can see that each of them played with it differently as well. The gaze was also very different. And Bharatanatyam by nature is coded to be a very graceful form. So how do we then bring the force that was introduced to us in the whole structure was another discussion that we had to think about, apart from not having the rhythms. So the intent of the mudras, were they just brought in for aesthetic reasons, or were they flowing through? I've always defined Maya dances as to be liquid. We tend to take on the shape of a vessel that's given to us. And so what happens to this body that's flowing through? How does it then keep to its true self, but still using the elements that's been offered to it? So that's a very specific walk in Bharatanatyam, rooting your heel, and then comes the toes.
Okay, thanks very much, Kavita, for that explanation. And I think on this note, I wish to ask then, Yang Lao Sir, for you, how is it like watching what you're taught being interpreted and recontextualized in a different form? What's your response to that? We'd like to hear how is it like for someone to teach, and then what you have taught incorporated, understood in a different manner, and reinterpreted, recontextualized.
頭先嗰條片嘅一個感我覺得他掌握住了一個最重要的，就是我剛才提到的那個內在的這個狀態，就是我們學習武術其實是要就是說就像我們這個寧這個字一樣，你怎麼樣專注對於我來講，身體舞蹈作為一種身體的表演藝術，它最大的魅力就是讓我們能夠很專注在舞台上，通過這一點來吸引觀眾所以剛才那一段那個舞者，當然外表上我見到他有結合了洪拳的一些招式和一些他本身應該是一些傳統舞蹈的一些造型吧但是結合得很好看不出中間一些痕跡當然雖然在沒有音樂的情況之下雖然動作也是保持一定的一個節奏，但是我仍然能夠感覺到一種力量那種力量是在緩慢的在流動它好像是hold 住了一些東西雖然他的個子不是很高啦然後身材也比較嬌小一點，但是我能夠感覺到他是一個非常有力量的一個身體，非常有力量的一個 body 在那裡在緩慢的在流動這是我剛才看到的一點簡單的分享了。我覺得抓住了這個武術最重要的那一點，就是怎麼樣讓自己凝固內心的那個力量
So I think the whole point of conceptualizing and contextualizing the whole thing is actually the essence. You can capture the essence of the martial arts and also fuse it together with your own practice. So the essence that we're calling the core of this is actually convergence, and also it is actually a kind of focus and live focus in the moment, so that it is converged in the form and in the body, and it is very attractive to see. So from the previous video that we just saw, we actually can see the dancers combined some form in the Hong Quan, and also combined it with the elements that she practice, and it's actually very seamlessly performed in a way, and we can feel the energy flowing from his body. And this is a very powerful body. Although the movement is not very big, but then we can see she holds the energy inside her, and it's just about to explode. So it's this is the reflection that we're seeing from the video. Thank you.
Thanks, Yang Lao Sir, and thank you very much, Candy, for the explanation and also the analysis. I think to talk about that recontextualization further, Candy, I hope it's okay. We'll jump to the 5th video instead of the 4th. We'll go to the last one. Is it all right? I think to explore what we discussed further, and then Kavita can share more, because that shows a further interpretation of the lessons and the styles learned. So we'll jump to the 5th one, the 5th video. Okay, Candy? Thanks. And Kavita, you can explain.
So in this video, you will see Gigi exploring it. Another level of finding her body through the physics of her. And what was challenging was also that she was also embodying the mandala positions that was offered to her by the Bharatanatyam training. So you can see how Gigi is using her arms and her feet, very slow in Indonesian style. And the core, the chi or the core that we all speak about, is also something that which we work through. So this is one of the examples of how we have allowed each dancer to then be in their skin, to be finding that voice from the elements that we have taken from Mr. Young, to then explore the space within us, around us, using the different trainings that we come together with. So Sebastian and Eva are trained by myself with Bharatanatyam. So Sebastian is actually very much into hip hop. Eva is contemporary. So they do have the other languages with them as well. And then whereas Gigi comes with Indonesian, she's a beautiful combination of hip hop, contemporary, and a little bit of Bharatanatyam as well. So, the convergence of everything was a melting pot that was very free at use for us. But there's also one thing that we learned to use a lot in modern dance theater is about using imagery. The idea of imagery, it's like a lotus that's rooted to the roots are to the ground, and you freely start blooming up. So there's the sky, the wind, the space, and yet you are rooted. So what happens to that body that's trying to free itself, and how much does it go? So these imageries could be something that can guide you in the next segment that you see us perform.
Thanks, Kavita. On that note about form and in the meeting at the melting pot, there's something I wish to ask actually Yang Lao Sư. Sorry, Candy, I know I didn't prepare you for this question, all right? The question is this, and that is, we should find out from Yang Lao Sư. Martial arts is a whole series of movements, so is Chinese dance or dance for that matter. So where does martial arts end and dance begin for him? Once again, where does martial arts end and where does dance begin? How do you tell the difference between the two?
是舞蹈跟武术，是转接，一个开始，一个结束。这个就是什么时候是武术结束，然后开始舞蹈？
就是在创作里边啊。其实我自己的想象就还是要回到舞蹈里边，在我的概念里边，武术也是一种舞蹈。因为我觉得我会拉远一点来看，就是我觉得舞蹈跟武术都是关于一种身体运动的艺术来的，哈，包括我们对身体的比如说刚才有提到的有芭蕾舞啦。有民族舞啦，不同民族的很多地域的哈，包括有当代舞啦，然后有一些流行舞啦，比如说 hip hop 这些，对我来说其实它都是一种身体的一种艺术来的。那武术我也是这么去看的，它就是一种身体的艺术，因为在我眼里边武术不再是具有攻击性或者是它已经在我眼里，它不是具有功能性的了， 我是用一种欣赏的角度去看这种身体的，所以我没有太去区分哪一部分是武术，哪一部分是舞蹈。对我来说，整件事情都是一种舞蹈。那这种舞蹈肯定是跟我们原来所学习的，或者是没有体验过的。好，我也不知道这种东西应该叫什么，总之就是一种身体的状态吧。就是因为在我们以前的跳舞，不论你跳什么，很少有一种舞蹈能够专门提，就是你的心要非常的平静，要非常的集中。因为我发现只有武术会要求这一点，因为你如果不集中的话呢，你就会没有命的。所以他那种集中是真实的，不是表演的。那对我来说就是最吸引的。所以我希望身体能够接受舞蹈能够接受武术的这种训练，然后让我们的舞蹈演员的身体能够带来一点不同吧。好，所以这个也是我没有太去区分这中间怎么样从舞蹈开始，然后进入武术，然后再回到舞蹈，还是说从武术开始再进入舞蹈，我没有太去想。当然作为观众可以有他们自己的一种分别，就像我刚才看Eva 是吧？那个舞者叫不是伊娃，对，我就比较清楚他用了一些洪拳的招式，然后又进入了一些传统舞的这个，我作为观众我会很清楚的看到，但是我不知道他作为编创者他是不是这么有意去做。我作为创作者的时候，我是无意识的，哪怕我在做一个武术的招式的时候，其实我都觉得我是在所谓的在跳舞，因为我是一个舞者，哪怕我做很快的这个动作的时候，可能是一种武术招式，但是对我来说，我想要表达的是这个身体的一个力量跟速度在瞬间的爆发，对我来说就是一个舞姿，就一个动作，我没有太去想我现在是在做武术然后是不是就变成一个舞蹈，我没有太这么去区分，因为我也可以把这个出拳的这个变成是一个很慢的，那可能大家就说，那你这到底是在跳舞还是在武术啊？那就我其实这很难说得清楚，所以总的来说，对我来说就是舞蹈。身体的任何关于身体的运动，在我看来都是舞蹈。因为我在看一些运动项目的时候，我都觉得我在看跳舞，因为运动员的身体也是非常吸引的，它也是节奏、能力、能量的一种变化。比如说那些足球运动员或者是篮球运动员，其实对我来说就是身体艺术，他们能够跳那么高，他们能够快速的做一些反应，对我来说，其实我是有一种概念，我觉得是一种概念，给大家提供一种概念，舞蹈的范畴是可以很大的。
So in my creation, I actually didn't have this very distinguished line between the martial arts and the dance, because for me, a lot of different types of dance, styles of dance, like the classical dance, the tribe dance, the folk dance, ballet, contempt, they are all art of a body. They are all art of body. So I am actually trying to create something in a perspective that is zoomed out. So I see every form of movement as dance itself. So it is actually not only, so martial arts to me now, it is not only a defense or functional kind of movement. This is actually a form of dance to me. But if you have to give a main point of really pick one point that is different in martial arts to dance, I will say is the focus. So the focus is actually living in that very moment, or you will die. This is very unique to martial arts. And I'm asking my dancer to pick up that habit when they dance. So they have to be very focused in their movement when they dance. So this is actually, for me, as a creator, I don't differentiate between the two, but I am also open for the audience to have their own observation. So it is because from the previous video of Eva, we can actually see how she incorporates the different forms and elements. And from an audience point of view, they might have their own interpretation, and I find it perfectly fine for me.
Thank you very much, Yang Lao, and thank you, Candy. And I think thanks very much for the reminder of living in the moment, otherwise you'll die. But that's a reality, right? There's only this moment that we have, and it ties in very much with the title of your show, Ning. Yeah. Now, just now, Yang Lao also mentioned something about things open interpretation to the audience. You've been a great audience thus far. Any questions? You can ask. Okay. You're very still, okay? Right. You're living to the heaven. Okay. All right. Excellent. I think now we've talked a lot. We've exchanged a lot of ideas. We have converged in our ideas. And now we're proud in the next section to show the dance from My Dance Theatre and also with part of the film. And I think we wish to thank Yang Lao Su for giving us permission to interact with this film, because you all will be given the link to the full show, I believe. And, I think for a creator to have, his show, the work that he's created, and to allow someone to interact with it and create something new from it, that's a very great privilege for us here in Singapore. So thanks, Yang Lao Su, in advance for allowing us to do that. And as I said, just give us a moment. We'll clear this stage and we'll pass the stage to Maya Dance Theatre and to the convergence on screen. Okay? Thank you very much. Just give us a few seconds. Thanks, Candy and Yang Lao Su. Thank you, Sebastian, Eva, and Gigi. And may I invite Kavita and Mr. Wong to, and also our friends online to Yang Lao Shi and Candy to take a bow together. Mr. Wong, please. Can we come online? I think we should take a bow together. I don't know how we're going to do it, but I guess we can do it somehow. All right, one. Okay, I think it's traditional. 1, 2, 3. Let's take a bow together. 1, 2, 3. Thank you. Not a thanks to our tech team, StreamCloud, for running through the whole thing, all the tech and on and all that. Okay, we'll come to the end of the evening. I think today, I think Kavita asked me, so how I'm going to end the evening, and I'll just say it's very simple. I'll just say thank you. Go home and practice those 4 tutorial videos that you have. Okay. Thanks really for taking time with us on Saturday. Thank you very much to Hong Kong Economic Trade Office, and have a good evening ahead. Thank you very much. Stay safe. Thank you. And I hope we get to meet in person. Okay. Thank you.